Hello. Welcome to Celestial Waters. My name is Demi. So we're going to do something different today. I thought I would unbox some new decks that I've got and then mix in some messages from Spirit and do like a little bit of a reading for you. But firstly, Spirit want me to show you guys. I've been listening to this. It's like a very chilled playlist, but it's called Rich Vibes Music to Attract Money and Positive Energy Instantly. So I'm going to leave in the description because they wanted me to show you guys. So maybe some of you have listened to it or your spiritual court want you to listen to this music. But I'm just going to put on some frequency music in the background. So I'm excited. What should I start with? I'm going to do this big one because it's got a few decks within it. So this morning, I've been feeling my cousin come around me very, very strongly. My cousin Samantha. So she passed away. Shit, I just broke my nail. She passed away a few years ago. Around 2 years ago. But she's coming through very strongly, and I can always tell because when I go to choose my perfume, I've got so many perfumes on my side. When I go and choose the perfume to wear, I've got two that are hers, and straight away her one I just grabbed, didn't even think about it, sprayed it everywhere, and I could feel her coming around me in the morning, so that's a huge sign that she is around me. But I've been dreaming of her, particularly when I feel like I've been working my arse off for like a year and a half. Leading up to 2 years now at Celestial Waters, my business, right? And it's moving slower than I thought. So every time I kind of doubt myself or think about giving up, she comes in my dreams and she's always like gassing me up in my dreams, and she's talking about like my automatic writing decks and the readings I'm doing. She's like, it's amazing, like keep going. So it's like that prompt from my ancestors, keep going, you're on the right path. But I do feel like a lot of you in the collective, I mean a lot of people in the world right now are feeling very, very heavy, but it's like the point where you're at your wit's end. Some of you could be suffering from depression, maybe insomnia, but it's given the energy of like, come on, something's got to give, like you can't catch a break. That's what it is. Many people feel like they can't catch a break, and for many people that is very true, because the year we're in, 2025, was always going to be like this. It's about endings and beginnings, but there are some people who are moving more into that beginning energy. It depends what timeline you're on, because we're all at different points in our life, right? But obviously everyone wants to be at that point where they're the one who's about to be moving into their blessings, their destined timeline, right? It's natural, you're a human being, you want to be having fun and experiencing pleasure in this realm, particularly if you're someone who comes from like a dysfunctional background. What are we starting with? So I got 3 decks in this one. We're going to start with this one. I was wondering what this one was going to look like because it was literally like $6.99. It was very, very cheap. Let me show you here. Is it open already? Yeah, cut that off. But I cleaned my room. You know when you wake up and you're feeling a bit so I was like, right, let me clean my room, hoovered, change my sheets, and I burned some incense and I feel so much better. It's got like 2 decks in. Oh, they're just different colours. Let's see. Interesting. They are small. They're given like a travel size deck. There's the book. All of a sudden I feel like an ache in my back. So some of you guys could be having like ascension symptoms where you're getting backache. It's in the lower back, like the lower part of your spine. You could be feeling a bit heavy down here. I do feel like where your kundalini is uncoiling, for a lot of you your kundalini is uncoiling, it's causing irritation and a discomfort, like a heaviness down here in your lower back. So this is the Luminous Pathways deck, Oracle cards. Straight away, look at this. We have the Phoenix Rising, Renewal, Resilience, Rebirth. I always connect the Phoenix to the Kundalini because it's that fire. And that's why I always picture it's like the fire that uncoils and it moves slowly up your spine. And it moves up and up and up and up. And when you've had that like Kundalini rising, it will push through and out of your crown. But a lot of you, you're having an activation down here. So it's uncoiling in a whole new way. You may be seeing the Phoenix everywhere. And you may be hearing music that isn't actually there. I'm going to cleanse it on my incense. You might be hearing music that isn't actually there. This is your clairaudience activating. So your clear hearing from the spirit world. So you'll be hearing your ancestors and the voice of the Most High God very, very loudly in the coming months. I'm getting from spirit. You know, sometimes you have those dreams, right? And it's like a narrator is talking to you. And it's like the side of your own voice, but it's also the voice of God kind of mixed together. It's almost hard to explain, but you know that was the Most High speaking to you directly. You're going to be hearing God's voice more clearly. A lot more clearly and a lot more loudly. Because you know sometimes the human mind and the human ego can drown out spirit. That's not going to be happening for a lot of you moving forward because you're doing the work. You want to connect with your higher self and your soul more because you know That's the way to lead you to enlightenment, but it's also going to lead you to your higher timeline. It's going to push you into that quantum leap. So why is there like two separate? Or is it just to fit them into the box? To mix them together. Quite a lot of cards. They're quite thin. They're like a travel size. Let's see what needs to come out for the collective. Note, they need to be cleansed more. This is the thing. When I have new decks, it takes me a while to like break them in. You know, if you have new shoes, it would take you a while to break them in. It's the same with a new deck. I've got like certain decks on my shelf. I've got so many. I stopped buying them for a while, but I was like, no, I need some new decks. So let me get some. But there's some that you can tell I use all the time because they're like falling apart. And there's others I like barely touch. But when I do personal readings and even collective readings, it's spirit who will choose which decks are going to be used in that reading. Now cleanse any negative energy off of these decks by the will and the grace of the Most High God. And I cloak these cards in pure, holy, white light. So the right cards and the right messages come through. What do the collective most need to hear from this deck right now, Spirit? Something about Camden Market. That's in London. I used to go there a lot as a child. And it would always smell of like a mix of incense and weed as soon as you would like walk up the station. But that's coming through is significant. They don't want all of those, but the golden apple. They're pointing to the golden apple. And they're talking about the Garden of Eden and temptation. So some of you guys in the coming days, weeks, months, you could find yourself being tempted. And this is a test to see if you've actually integrated the lessons or the wisdom that's been rising as your Kundalini has been rising. You could be dreaming of snakes, seeing the sign of the snake everywhere. You're going to be tested. You're going to overcome it quite quickly. It could literally be like a new friend or somebody asking you out on a date and you could feel a bit weird about it. Like, do I actually want to? And you're supposed to be saying no. And it's like, you will say no, that sort of thing. You could be seeing like 444, 555 everywhere. The phoenix is still turned over, so the phoenix is a very significant sign for you guys. This could be that spirit animal that is around you very strongly right now. What else is turned? We have another one that's turned. This is the open book, knowledge, openness and potential. So this is the Akashic records. This is you tapping into your blueprint. And obviously this is going to be happening if you're having a Kundalini awakening, because it brings on board all of your mediumship abilities. Every single human being has the potential to step into mediumship and to be psychic, because we all have an intuition. But there's some souls who are more new in their self-mastery, and then there's some souls who are more on their way to that enlightenment, to becoming that Messiah like Jesus Christ, a Christed being. Because that's the whole point of coming to earth, to graduate from this earth school. We're not supposed to be constantly in this reincarnation in the same cycle, you know. But you're at a very significant point in your Akashic records. We have here the eternal knot. At first I was seeing this as the snake. You guys could be seeing Medusa everywhere, you know, the goddess who has the snakes for hair. There's also that mythology that is represented within Wednesday. You know, the new program, not the older movies, but the new program on Netflix. So you may have recently watched Wednesday, and I feel like there's a lot of signs and synchronicities within that program for a lot of you. But the eternal lot, not the fact that you are an infinite being, you're a soul having a human experience. But not only that, you're here to get closer to yourself and here to get closer to source and other human beings, other souls. Interconnectedness, fate and destiny. So you may be having like a lot of fated tests and a lot of fated meetings. So you're going to be meeting more of your soul's tribe right now. Then we also have the divine mirror, self-reflection, truth. Yeah, they're going to mirror back to you who you are and who they are. I'm hearing a false mirror. So again, some of you guys are going to be coming into a test, but you're going to see straight through it. Look at that eye. They're pointing to the eye and they're pointing to the all-seeing eye. You're going to see it coming before it even comes. So maybe you guys even dream of this test before it happens. Pay attention to your dreams right now because they're very powerful. They're literally telling you the next steps you need to be taking in your life and what's about to be unfolding within your life right now. If you're struggling to remember your dream, Spirit is saying to research ways that's going to help you with dream recall. You can put like a shamanic pouch under your pillow, which will have certain herbs that assist with dream recall. You can use certain crystals, a dragon's egg and a seer stone usually help with dream recall. But whatever you are drawn to, ask your higher self what's going to work for you, right? But you can also write down before you go to bed like 3 times, I will remember my dreams in the morning. I will remember my dreams in the morning, to help you do it. And you kind of build it into a habit, because I remember my dreams basically every single night, and I end up writing like huge paragraphs, but it wasn't always like that. We have ocean depths, mystery, the unknown, deep emotions, that you've been delving into your own waters, your celestial waters. And a lot of you have been journeying to the core of Mother Earth. Literally, they're showing me the core of Mother Earth, and I'm seeing a womb, like a heartbeat and a womb beating. It's all like intertwined. They're talking about how your blueprint is activating. And at first there's going to be a lot of mystery surrounding this. It has to be. It's like you yourself are a puzzle piece you need to be working out right now. But you're not going to work it out to the extent that you want to, or to the level that you want to, until moving into next year. That's when you're fully going to move into that beginning energy. That's when you're going to go into that 10, so that completion. Right now you're in the 9. We are in the 9, which is at the ending of a cycle. So stuff is still wrapping up. But that's the messages coming through from that deck. I need to cleanse it some more and put that over there. The next one I got is clarifying life situations. Let's open this one. I've got like a whole list. If I could spend all of my money on like oracle cards and tarot cards, I would. This is why I had to stop myself for a while. But if a certain amount of money is coming in from readings and my business, then obviously I'm going to be buying new decks, because it means more clients are coming in. So that's different energy. So I literally will need different decks. It's like a spiritual tool. So let's say you're working in an office, right? You need to have like pen, paper, stuff for the printer, ink, blah, blah, blah. This is my tools that I need for my business. Let me show you. Clarifying life situations, love and career reading, oracle cards. That's the box. It's quite a lot. See, I like a deck that's like thick. Like I got my own decks that I created. Automatic writing poems deck. It's got 81 cards. I like a thick bulky deck. And then my Spirit Baby poems deck is also, I think it's got 80 within it. So again, I like a chunky deck. And I'm writing a second Spirit Baby one. And again, I want it to be like at least 80 cards to 100. I ask the Most High God to cleanse any negative energy that may have been absorbed by this deck. And I ask for pure, holy, white light to cloak every single card within this deck and cleanse it, ready to be used. Okay, I'm just going to get a few messages from this deck. I have another one like this. And usually, like with all the decks I have, I very, very rarely will use the like guidebook. I have an orb deck. I'll use the guidebook for that to understand what each of the orb is connected to. We have here the Phoenix. Basically, rising flames, let your passion guide you to the fulfilling purpose meant for you. And the other side says, ignite your soul. Embrace the mysteries of life, stay open-minded, and embrace the wisdom that unfolds with every experience. So fire right now is very significant. Kundalini obviously connected to fire. So it's that sacred flame that is really igniting within you. And a lot of people in the collective, I do feel like this message has been coming through in like quite a few recent readings. And when that happens, it means that someone may not be taking heed. They may be watching the reading, but they may not be taking heed of the message. Or it has to keep repeating itself, or it keeps coming through to make sure that it's truly integrated into someone as a truth. So right now you're in the energy of being the Phoenix. You could be a fire sign yourself, or maybe the people you're about to be meeting are fire signs, but it's just this feisty, fiery energy that is awakening within a lot of people on the planet, which is also where things can get a bit heated. And you'll be noticing that everyone can be kind of at each other's throats more, and there's more arguments going on. I mean, we're already seeing this in the world right now. There's a lot of war going on. But there's also psychic attacks going on. There's a battle going on for the mind, for the human mind, for sanity. So you want to remember to make sure that you're grounded, particularly if you're going through ascension symptoms connected to a Kundalini arising. You want to make sure you're grounded in your body and earth. So do things that help you connect to your body and to earth. So like exercising, getting yourself moving. Maybe for some of you it's literally just sitting in stillness. But I'm just being shown a bath. So maybe taking baths and self-care in that way helps a lot of you guys to relax into your body. It could be going on walks. Being shown like boxing, like kickboxing. For others of you it could be walking barefoot on the grass. That's good for you as well. What else, Spirit? These two. We have here Mountain of Mastery. Ascend towards self-realization and triumph, guided by the stoic presence of the Mastery Mountain pathway. Peaks reached. Celebrate your achievements and savor the triumph of your ascent, for you've climbed high and earned your view. It's that self-mastery. You're coming into your self-mastery, coming into that completion point, and then you're going to notice that things are going to change. Then you're going to get your break. Then your external reality is actually going to shift, because you guys could be feeling this and dreaming of it and feeling like you're already at the point of your future self. This is also where the time will be overlapping, and your timelines will be overlapping before you fully grounded in that higher timeline. Remember, past, present and future, they're all happening simultaneously, and there's different versions of us in different dimensions. And this can also, it can kind of go over the human mind, or it can kind of push you sometimes, try and pull you into that spiritual psychosis. So it's very, very important to remain grounding, because when you're at the mountain's peak, that's where the air is very, very thin. That's when you can kind of go a bit flighty and get a bit faint, and Spirit don't want this to happen for you. Maybe some of you guys really enjoy going on hikes. It could be a goal of yours to reach like one of the highest points in Earth. I forget what it's called. They're showing me at a point. I forget what it's called. Mount Everest, that one. We have here Harbour of Peace. Find serene refuge in the peaceful embrace of a gentle harbour, allowing tranquility to still your waters. Then we have Serene Haven. Embrace tranquility as your refuge, where serenity blossoms and peace unfolds your being. And we have the boat. But look how still it is. Look how still that water is and how clean it is. You can literally see the reflection. It's like looking into a mirror again. Mirrors are significant right now. In the last deck, the mirror was coming out, but it's like other people around you, you're realizing what they're mirroring back to you and what you mirror back to them. So you're seeing from the bigger picture, the better... I'm hearing the better perspective. It's always the better perspective when you can see the whole picture. When you can see from that mountain's peak view, right? Because there's so many people who are right at the bottom and they're like using their voices the loudest. It's always the weakest who are loudest, Spirit is saying. But they're right at the bottom and they're trying to shout and tell everyone how you should be living your life. And it's like, dude, you need to be climbing up here before you can be doing that right. Because you don't even have that self-mastery. You haven't experienced enough to be shouting and telling other people what they should be doing with their life. And at that point, you haven't experienced enough to know what works for you. And if you don't know what works for you, how can you be guiding other people? How could you be a teacher to other people, you know? But you see, they're talking about how still it is. So they are asking you right now to remain still. Things will get to moving in good time and divine time. And for a lot of you, there's going to be towards the end of this year, because they're pointing to a Christmas tree. So Christmas time and going into 2026. I like this deck. I like when the photos connect to things that you could see, like out there in the world as well, you know. We have Wise Counsel as I split the deck. Again, you see this fiery energy, this light bulb that is going off in a lot of humans right now, or turning on rather. It's coming on in a lot of humans right now. You guys could be noticing that the lights are flickering around you, or electricity right now could literally be reacting to you as if you're charging it. Again, that's something that can happen with the Kundalini awakening, because it's activating more of your electromagnetic field. So your electricity is like sparking everywhere. So when you're all interacting with electricity or technology, obviously you're going to get that like electric shock. You could even be noticing how like it's literally as if you're charging whatever gadgets you are using right now. Right, we're going to move on to the Spirit Baby decks. This one first. This one is a Healing the Inner Child deck, right? But I always look for decks that I can use specifically for Spirit Baby reading, and I really love the colours on this one. It's very beautiful. And obviously children are connected to children. And it's your inner child that will go through a healing when you have your own child. When you bring children into the world and you become a parent. It's also the inner child that can get triggered, particularly if you come from a traumatic childhood, like a dysfunctional family. This is going to be one of those I can't open. And I already broke my nail, man. Come on. Hold on. I got it open. We have here Healing the Inner Child Oracle. So this is the box. It comes with quite a thick guidebook. There's actually a message inside. It says here, no matter what your childhood was like, it is never too late to heal. It's got a beautiful message there. I love this size of deck as well. Again, I like just like a big chunky deck. Okay. I ask the Most High God to cleanse this deck of any heavy energies it may have absorbed. And I ask this deck to be cloaked in the purest holy white light, so it is ready for collective and personal readings. We have here story. Ladybugs. Lady luck. There's 3 ladybugs, 2 red, 1 yellow, and then you've got a dragonfly, a butterfly, and this looks like a little like centipede. But these are like all insects that are connected to luck, also connected to change, to transformation. And I love how, I thought I was going to get choked up. I love how she's reading a book here. So again, this is connected to the Akashic Records. I'm also being shown a cartoon I used to watch as a kid. It's called A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life is coming forward, so maybe you guys watched that when you were a child. But you could have been very connected with the insect kingdom, that maybe you used to collect bugs. You could have had like a mud garden where you would put mud in there. You would collect all these twigs and things and make like houses for the ladybugs or the butterflies, that sort of thing. But most certainly you're coming to an end of a transformation, a metamorphosis, Spirit is saying. But you could be seeing certain signs in freeze. Maybe it's ladybugs that you are seeing. But your inner child wants you to connect with him or her because they hold the key, but they also understand the point you're at right now in the Akashic Records, because your inner child, remember, is always the key. And your inner child has to be on board with your dreams and your goals in life, because sometimes the inner child can act as a block. Particularly if they're nervous or scared about this shift and this change, they would be coming in, because your dreams coming true, that's like the biggest reality shift ever. And that can put the nervous system out of whack, but it can also scare your inner child. Very beautiful colours on these cards. I love these cards. Some of you guys could also be writing your story, or you need to write down your story. Not necessarily to turn it into a book and get published, but more for yourself. It's like a timeline of your life. I'm seeing somebody writing out a timeline of your life. So maybe you're doing this as part of like your healing journey. And you could be coming across old diaries that you used to write when you were a child. Maybe your parents or grandparents found them, but you could have had them away in storage. We have love. This is the image that's at the bottom of the box there with the beautiful quote. So this is the tree of life. And look at all the hearts within this tree. But this is you, your adult self, hugging your inner child, becoming that adult, that authority, that love that you needed as a child. You've become it. You could be seeing 44 everywhere. 44 is connected to protection, to the angelic kingdom and your ancestors. And the tree obviously represents growth, personal development and growth. So you've come a long, long way. And this is also your inner child giving you a hug, like saying thank you, paying homage, but giving you gratitude because you've done it. You broke the chains, you've done it, and now you're moving into being that generational curse starter, you know. You may be seeing like these kind of colours everywhere, like a gold, yellowy gold colour. Let's get one more card. We have needs that has flown out with boundaries. So some of you guys need to be making sure you have boundaries up. Because this is part of meeting your needs, right? This is part of self-care and self-respect. Saying no when you want to say no. And not being too quick to extend your hand to people, particularly that do lean on you too much, or always turn to you for support. Because I'm hearing agony on. So maybe you're that person who gives very good advice, wise advice. Because again, you're someone who has a lot of experience with who you are, because you've delved into yourself. And when you do this, you see other people more clearly. You see this world more clearly. You see through the BS and the illusions. So you're very naturally wise, but you've had this wisdom since you were a child, because this is the self-mastery. It's the cycle of your soul. Your soul could be in like one of your last lifetimes. So you hold that energy of an old soul, an ancient soul. But you see here how they're like climbing the animals, and then this child is holding the star. So again, the Christmas tree and Christmas is very significant. Maybe as a child, you always wanted to put the star on the top of the tree. It's coming through for somebody. But you could feel very connected to certain animals right now. I have been feeling both the angelic kingdom and spirit animals around humanity very closely. That they're wrapping us in their arms, in their wings. You may be seeing the yin and yang symbol as that sign that you have come into balance. You have come into union within yourself. And this is how you come into union outside of you with all that is actually for you, with all that is destined for you. So that is that deck. This is the back of the deck. I love this deck too. It's very, very beautiful. Look, Destiny. Look at the beautiful colours. And then I brought another. This isn't necessarily like a deck. I was thinking I can use this again for Spirit Baby readings. It's not an actual like oracle deck. It's a mindful practice cards for kids. Guided meditation kit, empowerment, focus and relaxation. It's for 6+ years, but I saw it and instantly I was like, I can use that for Spirit Baby readings. I'm always looking for like different random things I could use for Spirit Baby readings. So this is it here. And again, I just like the colours. When I'm doing Spirit Baby readings, I like to use decks that like a child would be drawn to. Even though I'm tuning into souls on the other side who are like part of your spiritual court, who are yet to be born, I still like to use decks that a child would be drawn to. And obviously they are quite big. I think this is like the instructions page. But I ask the Most High God to cleanse these cards in pure, holy, white light and remove any heavy, negative energy it may have picked up. But look here. Got beautiful pictures on it. Okay, let's get one for you guys. Can I get a message from the collective Spirit Babies? I want this one here. I just showed you guys this one, see? Double confirmation. But this is given like, you're obviously going to be teaching. You're going to be the example for your child. But for a lot of you, this is how many Spirit Babies you've got around you on the other side. They were wanting to come through you in this lifetime. Obviously, for a lot of you, you could well be having a big family. You could have a lot of children in this lifetime. But some of you, you may only have like 1 or 2. Out of your choice, or maybe it's just that your body could only handle having 1 or 2 is what coming through here. But some of you could work with children. You could be healers yourself. I'm getting yoga come through very strongly, but it's like teaching yoga for children. How to teach children how to come into their own mindful practices and calm themselves down and regulate their nervous system. You could teach like 7+. I'm seeing the age 7 come through is very significant. But you yourself could have children. And this is what you want to do for your children. You want to be that example that they look up to and that they're proud of. This one's here. It says mindful seeing on the back. Objective to develop present moment awareness and enhance observation skills with the group. So maybe some of you guys are teachers as well. You could use like cards like this. You see here. So that's the first one that was coming out. Let's get another card for the collective. Well, we have 2. We have here. This is reminding me of like, you know, when you would get taken on a school trip. And you would literally be taken to like a zoo, a botanical garden, or maybe it was literally just a field that was like near the school. And you would all be given like these magnifying glasses, and you had like these instructions, or find this certain bug, or find this leaf, this plant, this tree, whatever it is. That's what I'm being shown. So you could be having nostalgia coming up from your childhood of when you went on trips like this. But some of you, you could have always looked around at the other children who had their parents come with them. Because sometimes when I went on school trips, particularly when I was in like reception, when I was like 5-6 years old, some of the trips my mum would come with me. They would want like some parents to come along who could come along. and then there'll be a certain amount of teachers. But that's what's coming through there. But it's like you would look at the other children and wish that your parent would come with you too. So maybe your parents were always very, very busy with work. They didn't have as much time for you as you would like, or what you needed for your development. And you want to make sure you're going to be there for your children. You're going to give them this time. So some of you could have really worked on your finances before your children have come through. But this is also your spirit babies who are very strongly watching you right now. It says I spy on the back. You see, it's like they're playing a game of I spy with my little eye. So maybe you used to do this as well as a child when you were in a car, you're going on road trips. So you'll do this a lot with your future children as well. But your spirit babies are heavily around you, very strongly around you, and they're watching you. You may feel eyes on you sometimes. And then you could get signs from your spirit babies very strongly that day. Like the signs could be like slapping you in the face. We have here, this is giving unity, togetherness. And this is what you want to be raising your children in, that two is better than one. And that you respect people from different races, different religions, different cultures, different traditions. Because at the core, at the blueprint, we are all a soul having a human experience. But you're going to teach your children to have respect for themselves, for you, for your partner, for the other siblings they may have, but also for people in this world. This one has echo names. They want me to read what it says here. Start with one child saying their name, and the next child has to say their own name and repeat the previous child's name. Keep going until someone makes a mistake and then start over. So it's also teaching your child it's okay to make mistakes, but also teaching them to listen to other people and not interrupt or speak over other people or try to one up like somebody else. So maybe your child will have a very, very competitive spirit, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with competition, but just when it's channeled into like reaching their goals and not used in an egotistical way, you know. So that is that deck, and I thought that was cute. I love the pictures. Butterflies again. So you could be seeing butterflies everywhere. But I'm definitely going to use these in Spirit Baby reads. I'm excited. Did you want any messages coming through, Spirit? They wanted me to share with you guys. I'll get a message from my own decks. They wanted me to share with you guys that I moved to the countryside. I'm from London. I'm born and raised in London. But I moved to the countryside. I live with my nan. And then there's like a house in between. And then the next house is where my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins live. And I have family like a few towns over. And then the rest of the family is in London. A lot of my friends are in London. But I moved here a few years ago because I felt this pull to move here. And I'm glad I listened to my intuition. I didn't at first. I ignored it for a month. But I'm glad I listened to my intuition because I had a cousin who lived with her husband like another town over. And that's my cousin who was coming through at the beginning of the reading who passed away. So I literally had like 2 more months with her because I moved here. If I hadn't been living here and I was in London, I probably wouldn't have seen her before she transitioned over. So I'm glad I listened to my intuition when it came to that. But some of you guys, you could be feeling called and prompted to move right now. And you do need to listen to your intuition. How you will know you're supposed to be moving to this specific state, town, city, country, because it will keep tugging at you, it will keep pulling you there, you will keep getting the signs. They won't let up, they won't stop, they won't quieten, they'll get louder and louder and louder and louder. But let's get a poem for the collective spirit. We have here, when two become one, the moon and the sun collide in the same sky, 2 souls who'll never say goodbye. Their paths will always cross just to create magic. The evil forces are starting to panic. Divine love has rocked their plans to control and destroy all of the lands. Nothing can pierce through godly armor. Earth is fed up with all the drama. Clear the debris and remain in karma. Union is afoot, read the sacred book. Don't close the book of shadows, you'll need it entering the gallows. 2 is stronger than 1, your mission has only just begun. Pick up your sword, he is the shield. Walk hand in hand to the spiritual battlefield. The highest form of love will end this war. Those with hate in their hearts will forever remain poor. So there's unions coming in because you've come into union within yourself. Again, this is both romantic and platonic. You'll be meeting more of your soul's tribe in the next coming months, and particularly going into 2026 next year. But there's a need to really ground but connect to your heart chakra right now. I just keep being shown the word unity. So they wanted that message to come through, that 2 is stronger than 1 and we're supposed to be working together. Like, honor and respect each other's differences. We didn't all come here to have this human experience to all be expressing ourselves in the same way. How boring would that be? There'd be no point for souls to be like incarnating and being born on earth with the... Let's get a spirit baby message as well. Can I get a spirit baby message for the collective? You might be seeing daffodils everywhere. Okay, we've got 2. The first one here says, old mobile phones, Inspector Gadget. Inventing things will be my habit. Intrigued by satellites and bright lights. Before I'm born, I'll play with the electrics. That's how you know I'm close by. Just popping in to say hi. Sometimes it may give you a fright, like the TV going static. Only me, so don't panic. Energy is an interesting thing. You can feel it just like the wind. Gravity and mass. When I'm gifted a telescope, I'll be so glad. So this spirit baby coming through is the one who's playing with the lights. That message was coming through. I believe it was with this deck. Yeah, the light bulb was coming through. So that's also to do with you and your electromagnetic field getting stronger and activating more. But also your spirit baby is trying to get your attention in this way because they know you've noticed it now. So when you're like walking into your bedroom or you're going around the house, or even when you're going into a building, a cafe, you can notice the lights literally go flicker to the point where everyone kind of looks around and is like, what the fuck? And then we have here, oh, what beautiful luscious hair, as they stop and stare. So thick and long, won't go through mummy's tongs. We'll make hair tutorials together. It's so fun. I love being mummy's dolly. My name could be Polly, or you'll nickname me Jolly. Installed with self-love and protection from above. It's the God in me. That's what you want me to believe. My light shines through just like it does in you. So your spirit babies, they're watching you very intently. They want you to know that they see your beauty. They see your heart. They see your beauty. And they see how you're shining more now as you're doing the work and you're dropping all of the energetic weight. Some of you guys could have lost weight, but you're losing more weight while you're doing the work. So it's like you had this physical goal of how you wanted to look or what size of clothes you wanted to be fitting into, and it's like you're meeting it faster than you thought. And I'm hearing like a clicking, like you're doing it quickly. It's because you're doing the inner work alongside it. And this is the thing, when you're unpacking your baggage and you're doing what the Most High is asking you to do, you're doing what your body has been screaming at you to do. This will also help you drop weight for those of you that did need to drop weight. And for others of you, it could be the opposite, where for years you'd always been trying to put on weight. Maybe you wanted to just be like a bit more thick and curvy in the right places. And you're noticing that you're able to do this now faster than ever before. It was just that you're seeing the results now. Maybe for years you weren't actually seeing the results. Because it's all interconnected. The physical body, the energy field and the spiritual body, they're all intertwined. And when something is going wrong, was misaligned with one of them, it's going to be shown up. Particularly within the physical body will give you signs if there's a misalignment at the spiritual root. But that's all the messages coming through. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did want a personal reading with me, all of my information is in the description below. But I'll see you in another video.